US President-elect Donald Trump's pitch days before his inauguration for NATO countries to raise their defense budget to a record 5% of GDP has set the proverbial cat among the pigeons. For many allies, the proposition hits hard. Is Trump looking to make NATO an instrument to further American arms exports? Our next report telling you more.
The US president-elect has long been a big NATO critic, even warning repeatedly that it was time for America to abandon the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. In his first term, Trump had hit out at what he saw as Washington being ripped off, vowing to make Europe take its fair share of the burden. This time he pushes the bar up firmly, more than doubles the present 2% of GDP defense spend requirement for NATO allies.
Well, I think NATO should have 5%, yeah. Well, you can't do it at 2. I mean, at 2%, every country, if you're going to have a country in a regular military, you're at 4%. I think they should be, they're in dangerous territory. I think it should be, they can all afford it, but they should be at 5%, not 2%. I'm the one that got them to pay 2%.
The warning to NATO allies echoes what Trump had said at a campaign event last year. Pay the bills or else. That's his theme.
Nobody said it but me. I took a lot of heat. They said, oh, that's a threatening statement. Well, they weren't paying their bills. I said, we're not going to protect if you're not paying the bills. So, in a true sense, I saved NATO, but NATO's taken advantage of us.
NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte had spoken last month of the need to raise defense spending targets to 3% of GDP. Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022 had convinced many members on this, but perhaps not by this much. No member, including the US, spends 5% of GDP on defense. The biggest is Poland, with 4.12% of its spending going to defense. That's about $45 billion. Germany, with 2.12%, has a defense spending of approximately $75 billion. In percentage terms, Estonia, the US and Lithuania are also above the 3% mark. 19 other countries, including the UK, France, Germany and Netherlands, meet the 2% requirement as of 2024. But 9 others, including Italy and Spain, fall short of even the 2% mark. Come now to the picture on arms exports. The US accounted for 42% of global arms exports between 2019 and 2023. Russia and France stood at a distant second at 11%. China at 5.8% and Germany at 5.7% are other big guns. For the US alone, the total value of arms exports in fiscal year 2023 amounted to $238 billion. That's up from $205 billion in 2022. This is as per the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, SIPRI. The numbers itself spell it out. The US has been the biggest gainer of the push for NATO nations to step up arms purchases. Is Trump's bid to raise that bar to 5% part of the same game plan? Bureau Report, WION World is One.